that you're going to have to deal with me. This is going to be a good one, I reckon. There we go. Yeah. So, Nordschleifer. Welcome, everyone. This is Aero League Racing Season 18. 18. You know, we're nearly 10 years old, ALR. I've not been here for 10 years. But that's when it started. Crazy, crazy, crazy how long that we've been going. We've been doing GT7 for what, like, basically as soon as GT7 came out. So Season 4 was the first GT7 league, and we're on Season 18 now already. So we're flying through them. Just as a little recap of round one, Sam, I think, was the championship leader after round one. I can't remember. Doing really well. Obviously, Sam dropped down from tier 1 and performed really well in the Citroen. The Citroen's a really good car now, guys. But no one really picked it in any of the tiers this season, even though it absolutely dominated one of the tier 4s last season. So still people not really wise to how good it is, but Sam picked it as a reserve and then got made full-time before round 1 even started. So we'll have to see what he does. Nordschleifer, anyway. Nordschleifer Endurance. So we've got half of the GP track and the full green hell afterwards. They only had a one-shot qualifying because obviously the lap's so long. So if anyone made a mistake on their lap, they didn't have any extra chances of redeeming themselves. So let's go through the grid. We've got Brummy Bulldog in the McLaren, not having as good of a qualifying as he did last week, lining up 16th. Looking for his first points, I think, of the season as well. So let's see what he can do. He's got the pace, definitely. This is a tough track, though. You either know it or you don't. And the guys maybe at the back potentially don't know it. Higgsy, really surprising to see him down in 15th place. He's been a tier 2 for quite a few seasons now and struggling compared to a lot of the people that have been promoted. He qualifies behind Genesis so both McLarens in the bottom 3 for qualifying here. Genesis was in the Audi last season in tier 3 and got some podiums. He was pretty quick. Sometimes quicker than me as well, actually. I was in the Audi in the other tier where I was comparing times. He did set pretty good times compared to me, so I do think he could get some good results. It's just not clicked with this McLaren just yet. Hello, mate. Welcome. Then we got Hurricane in P13. He got 2 top 10s last week in the races. Not quite as good. Well, his qualifying's never really been Hurricane's thing. But he is good at, well, he has found a lot of consistency over the years. And so, I do think he can get a top 10 here. Then we got X90G, who did very, very well last week in the Peugeot. Not as great a qualifying here as I was expecting. Tap outside the top 10 in the Lambo. A little bit surprised, but I know Tap doesn't really enjoy the Nordschleifer so much, so maybe that is part of the explanation. Jack, who was right at the front in qualifying last week, only qualifying 10th here. And he is good. He was good last time he raced the GT7, which was like quite a long time ago. He was good at Nordschleifer, so I do think he could recover. Zab out-qualifying his teammate. I think he should be very pleased with that. Good result there for Zab. Then we got Filthy in 8th place. Good qualifying for him in the Porsche, so it's going to be slow starting. Gilles in 7th, a little bit lower than last week. And then we have Aslan. This is Hasnain, I think his name is. That is how it is spelled on Discord. Anyway, I'll call him Aslam in here because it is easier. I won't be tripping over myself. Then we got Sam in the Citroen in 5th. That is a very quick starting car. Harry in 4th. Great lap for Harry. Finished 3rd place in Tier 3 White last season. He's 4th place in qualifying here. And then the Tier 3 Blue runner-up Henna's absolutely fantastic to get himself up into 3rd. You might remember I said last week I think he's going to be one of the guys in the top 3 towards the end of the season, which he didn't agree with in the chat. But let's see what happens. I'm still sticking with it. There are very quick guys here, but he is quick as well, and he is in a very good car. I think it'll come to him. Chris in the Porsche gets P2. Another one who I think is going to be contending for the championship, and Arukis, who dropped down from tier 1 last season, getting pole position. The pole position point for Arukis, who had a bit of an up and down race last time. He might be wanting to get a bit more of a consistent one here. So, for the sprint to start with, everyone's going to be on the soft tyres. It's only 2 laps. It's going to be chaos. Let's see what happens. So, expect Chris to fall back in his Porsche. Looks like a decent start for Arukis. Hennes gets past as well, and Sam's trying to get past all 3 of them. Let's ride on board with Sam. He's going on the outside into turn 1. He does get past Hennes. Hennes taking it quite careful. Sam looks like he's up into 2nd. Hennes 3rd. Chris only down to 5th. Harry looks like he's kept his top 4 position. Him and Hennes getting a little bit of contact between the teammates. Chris is going to try and go down in between them. Harry's got the inside for the corner. Hennes having to concede that position. He's trying to get the switch back though, and Chris is getting past Harry as well, getting his elbows out there for sure, and Harry keeps that position anyway. Looks like Arukis and Sam. Oh, it's a 2.5 penalty for Chris. Let's go back and ride on board. I'll show you exactly how you can get that, because it's happened to me a few times in ALR, and it's super frustrating. So it's coming right here. There you go. I love it when I get this right first time. So you need to have, basically the white line is what's important here. And he's on the rumble and fully on the grass. Obviously there's not much space with the car in front, but he was going for a bit of an audacious move there, and he's going to get penalised right at the end of this lap in about 7 minutes time. And it's not going to be a 1.5 seconds that he's going to lose. It's going to be a lot more than that. So Hennes is going to try and move on the inside of him here. And Hennes needs to be careful. He's collected his teammate. And Chris is just going to swoop through. Giles is going to swoop through as well. And Aslam is going to get that position as well. So that's twice in this race that the AMGs have gotten in each other's way. Jack gets past Harry as well there. So absolute disastrous start in the GP section for the Mercedes boys. On what was a great starting position for them. At least we know they've got the pace. Now what's X90G going to do? He's really good at coming through the field. He proved that in the feature race last week. Harry braking super late, still makes the corner beautifully. I think X90G was just taking it easy there. Looks like Genesis has given himself a 2-second penalty there as well. Everyone's very close together. Let's see what's going on a bit further down. Something's happened with Filthy. Let's see, it was into turn 1. Again, the Porsche is slow starting. You can get ambushed by pretty much everyone. But he's still in 12th here. Oh dear. There's Tap, and he just had to brake because Tap was going sideways. And now we are into the Nordschleife. I went a little bit too far there. There we go. We're into the Nordschleife here. It looks like there's going to be some chaos on the way. Let's see what it looks like from X90G's point of view. Jack looks like he's out of shape. Hennes looks like he's out of shape. Everyone is queuing up here. Jack's off track, and he's in the wall. What's going to happen? He's going to keep it going. Yep, Zab gets past. Genesis in the top 10 now. Genesis rear-ends Zab, and Jack is trying to get past him now. Zab's off track. It's all kicking off now. Look at this behind. Everyone jockeying for position. Genesis nearly losing it completely, and loses about 5 positions in that as well. Jack's got some breathing space. What's going to happen? What's happening up here? Any changes for position? It's all kind of spread out at the top. Aslam trying to get chased down. Giles headers off, and Harry gets past once again. X90G is going to get past him as well. That's the 3rd mistake of the race. It's only 2.5 minutes in. So Hennes having an absolutely disastrous start to this one. Now really tight braking here. Hurricane in PLO. Looks like someone went off. That's Higgsy. Higgsy in P13, not really under any pressure from anybody. And he just outbrakes himself completely, and he does well to avoid everyone there, actually. So credit to him for that. Everyone gains a position. It's still very early days around the Nord, so I don't think they should be too worried about the setbacks that they've had so far. A long way to go. Problem is, it's going to be difficult for these guys to make progress. Zab's sitting pretty up in 8th at the moment, Jackson 10th. This is pretty much where they both started. Jack might have a little run on Hennes now. We're in the part of the track where it is pretty difficult to get any overtakes done. You can get chopped off pretty... Yeah, Jack had... Yeah. He survived, that's the main thing. So, let's see what's happened a bit further up. The top three are kind of gapped at the moment. Gilles under a bit of pressure from Aslam. Gilles started the season pretty strongly last week, and he's looking to build on that, preferably with a podium. I'm sure that's what he'd be wanting. Lamborghini's not as suited to this track compared to Dragon Trail Gardens, but it's still pretty strong. Might struggle on the very long back straight when we get there. But yeah, he's not coming under too much pressure. There's a nice gap to Harry. Harry's regained his composure in P6. What's happening a bit further up? A 1.5 second penalty for Chrissy. So we missed him getting that, and that is going potentially to drop him behind Gilles unless he can really pound in some good sector times for the next couple of minutes. We're now going up the hill. It is flat out. There's a few right-handers, and then there's a really tricky corner right at the top of the hill that I want to see all of the cars go past, because this is the prime place where they make mistakes. Here we go. How's Arukas doing? Pretty neat and tidy. Sam a little bit wobbly, nothing to worry about. Same for Chris. Everyone's wobbly there. Aslam gets through, Harry's through, everyone looks like they're surviving it. I'm surprised, actually. This is pretty consistent from everybody, and then Higgsy's just a little bit further back. So at the front now, we're going into the carousel. Arukis with probably less than 2 seconds, I would say that lead is, and Chris keep them honest. So is it a coincidence that at the infamous German track, it's two Germans in first and an Austrian in first and second and an Austrian in third place? I don't know. Is it a conspiracy? Germans working together to keep out all these Brits in P4 to P8. Gilles doing a great job of holding Aslan back. Potentially Aslan is able to match the pace of the top three, and Gilles is potentially holding him up here. X90G is looking like he's found some good pace. Henna's recovering nicely. Something's happened to Zab. He's dropped a couple of positions, and Brummy's up into 11th now, so he's recovered from a poor qualifying. And then we got Tap in 14th, Filthy's in 15th, and Higgsy is still in last, trying to catch up to the pack. So I think this is where I want to stick with. Aslam versus Gilles. This is Aslam's debut in ALR in the Toyota GRC Supra, Higgsy's teammate. This car did originally belong to Tier 3 champion Colin, but Colin has unfortunately had a change in his schedule, so he can't race this season. So Aslam is the other GR Supra driver, and yeah, he's absolutely oh, Gilles nearly loses it there. He's absolutely showing Higgsy how it's done as his teammate, putting some good points on the board, potentially for Team Toyota. Germans and Austrians know Nerb's better. Well, clearly, I didn't do much practice for this one. Not gonna lie. Jin's incredibly good around Nürburgring as well, and he's from Munich, so there we go. Unfortunately, us Brits, we have what, Brands Hatch and Goodwood to choose from. So onto the back straight for the first time. Let's see. This is another incredibly important corner that can be quite difficult to get right. Looks like everyone is doing pretty decent here. Here's Hurricane and Genesis getting some penalties. Chris has served his, but it doesn't look like he's close enough to Gilles for it to have affected him. There we go. There's the penalty. So is Tap just going to swoop past both of them? He is going to try and catch up to Hurricane. He's definitely got the overspeed here. Hurricane's about 14 kilometers an hour slower going up the hill. It'll be the same story for Brands. Yeah, well, let's see how much practice the Brits do for Brands. If Arukas wins Brands, we'll be having words. Oh, Chris. So, there we go. An easy overtake for Tap. Up into P12. Remember, you need to be in the top 10 to get points in the sprint, and also to be part of the reverse grid order for the feature race. So we are just ending lap 1, halfway through the race, 8-ish minutes through, and it looks like everyone's closed in nicely. Jack's managed to get past X90G on the back straight, and X90G wants that position back. Headers defending into turn 1 as well, back up into 7th place after Zab fell a couple of positions, and it's looking fairly normal there. Gilles lost out to Aslam. Let's see where that happened. Is it going to be a really brave move into the braking zone at the end of the straight? It is. We know the GR Supra has insane speed here, and look how much he's caught Chris, so he could potentially catch Chris on this second lap. Chris had that big time with. So starting this final lap, let's go back to where we were, just cutting half the track off there with this corner. We've got Harry pretty close to these guys as well, so he's clearly pretty good around Nordschleifer. And it's all going to depend on what can Aslam do. Can he start to catch Chris and put some pressure on him? Chris, I think, is going to be in the championship hunt. Arukis should really be in the championship hunt. Gilles as well should be in the championship hunt from the guys in the top 5. Samson would be if he wasn't going to miss rounds. He's already stated that he's going to miss Brands Hatch next week, which means that he will surely drop down the order. Yeah, back into the Nordschleifer, and let's see if any of the order has changed. It hasn't really. There's a big gap between Tap and Brummy in P11 and 12. So Brummy needs just one single position to get that crucial reverse grid pole. To be honest, just a normal lap, I think he'll get 2 or 3, because the mistakes and the pressure are starting to heat up now. I think apart from the time penalties that some of these guys got, there's not really been much of an issue in terms of driving off track and having calamitous mistakes, but we are starting to go into the section of the track where that does start to happen. So Arukis looking fairly comfortable. That opening lap, despite it being a standing start, was still in 7 minutes. So that's incredible pace there from Arukis. Now through goes Chris. This is the corner where Higgsy went off. So I want to see if everyone's actually going to make it this time. They're not. It's Zab. Zab is the one that lost it under braking, and someone else has got off behind him. That is Filthy as well. So Zab and Filthy having an absolutely torrid time at that corner. Let's catch that in all its glory. So Zab not under pressure at all. This is an unforced error. Goes onto the gravel, and then because he's off, he's on the grass, he can't brake. And what about Filthy? What happened with Filthy? This is a strange one. It's got Tab, Hurricane and Filthy all fairly close. Filthy doesn't lift at all. There he does lift, but he didn't brake in time essentially, and just slid into the barriers there. Genesis gets himself past, Higgsy gets himself past, and Filthy is in last place as a result of that. So that changes the top 10 a lot there. Zab's outside the top 10. Brummy is in the top 10. He's got reverse grid pole at the moment. X90G puts pressure on Jack here. And yeah, like I said, it's not really an overtaking spot. This next corner that we're coming up to is one where you can easily go wide there. Chris manages. Aslam nearly loses it, and he is starting to get away from Gilles now. And then Harry's lost a bunch of time. So Harry's struggling compared to Gilles. He's actually been caught up again by his teammate Headers, who's had those 1 or 2 mistakes. And then we've got Jack and X90G all very close together. Brummy's fallen slightly off the back of these at this section of the track. Maybe he's struggling with those corners specifically. So let's ride on board with X90G. Him versus Jack. Jack is looking fairly solid here. He's been pretty much in 8th place the entire race. But it does look like X90G has a little bit more composure here. We've got the AMGs in front of them, who will be very difficult to overtake if they can catch them. But I think Jack's probably looking at his wing mirrors a little bit more right now. Now, the uphill section, let's go back to the front and see. It is evening time. The mountain is completely covering this section of the track, keeping it pretty cool. We're going up to the hot spot. The really fast left-hander. Let's see what Arukas does. How much does he lift? Does he actually brake for this corner as well? He's got no reason to take a risk here. He brakes very slightly and makes it absolutely fine, as does Sam. Then there's this big gap. I think they've increased it back to Chris, actually. And then there's another gap back to Harry, who's still just ahead of Hennes. As they go into the hairpin, someone's off. That is X90G, so the pressure that he was putting on Jack hasn't paid off because it's him who's made the mistake. Brummy's still within striking distance. Let's stick with Jack right now. He's caught up pretty well in this section of the track to the AMGs, although he didn't take the carousel too well. This is good for the AMGs because if they're still this close by the time they get to the back straight, they can just bump each other and keep away from Jack. The bump draft here is super useful, actually. I did not have any bump drafting, unfortunately, in my race, which would have really helped. You can gain multiple seconds with bump drafting on that back straight alone. And yeah, it is looking pretty tight. It's looking pretty tight between the AMGs. Looks like Hennes has a lot more pace than Harry. Oh, and Jack nearly loses it. He's completely, yeah, X90G hasn't really managed to catch up to these guys either. So now we're coming up to a really fast right-hander over a hill, a bump, where it does send your car flying a little bit. There you go, there was a little bump in the air. When you join, you have to be on basically the full brakes. This is the final lap. Doesn't look like any overtakes are going to happen here. Let's see what's happening with Arukas. He's going through the last carousel. Still looking very comfortable here in the Peugeot. Again, not the most popular car in ALR, the Peugeot. But MR cars seem to be pretty good right now. And he makes it onto the back straight with no dramas, as does Sam. Chris has caught up pretty nicely to them. Then there's a big gap to Aslan, who's on the back straight now. Jail's not going to be able to get into the slipstream there. And then here is this battle. Jack's really close behind Hennes. Hennes not being able to stick with Harry through that last section. So is Jack going to get this P7? Harry opting to give Hennes a little bit of slipstream. He might be too far ahead for it to actually have any meaningful impact though. RCC is a bland car, yeah. I just don't like it. Here we go, into the braking zone. Is Jack going to be able to do it? We've actually missed the race wins. Let's go back to Arukas, who's rounding the final corner. And he's not really looked under any sort of pressure all race long. Great pole and victory for Arukas. Sam is going to take a really solid P2. Chris, P3. Potentially could have been more without that penalty. And he does get the fast lap. Aslan P4 ahead of Giles. Then we've got some contact between Hennes and Jack, but Jack gets P7. Let's see what happened there. Jack, what are you doing? What is going on? He's like... He's driving into Hennes. That's not right. What is this? Well, nothing happens, apart from it does stop Headers getting a run on him, and he keeps the position. So I wonder if that's been reported, because that is a bit naughty. If he went for the slipstream, he needed to know that there was a car there, essentially. Hurricane gets P12. X90G actually got overtaken by Brummy on the final lap as well. So let's see what happened here, because this is a good recovery for Brummy. He's getting his first couple of points in ALR with that overtake. Pretty straightforward as well. That McLaren seems to be quick in a straight line now. So it's just got everything. It's not as bad. It used to be horrible on the starts. It's all right on the starts. Great fuel, great tyres, and it's got great top speed. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say that this is one of the better cars. Potentially top 2 cars at the moment, the McLaren. X90 GP10 in the end. Tap unable to get into the top 10. Hurricane is going to be 11th there. Then we got Zab, after his mistake, drops out the top 10 down to 13th. Genesis 14th. Higgsy, nowhere all race 15th. And then we saw Filthy's issue put him all the way down into 16th place. So that's the sprint. Now this feature is going to be interesting, because there are a few different strategies, which is unusual. I hate that. You can't see the replays that way. Let's just scroll down. There we go. There are a few strategies. You could actually do a 2-stop if you want to do like a medium, medium, soft. Some people might be able to do medium, soft, soft. Hard, medium is probably the most likely strategy, but if you're starting at the front, starting on hard tyres is probably not the way to go. Okay, let's see. Let's do a little quick tyre check before we get started. X90G going to start on pole position on the mediums. So he's either doing a medium hard or a medium soft soft or a medium medium soft, depending on what he feels like he can do. Brummy on the mediums, Henna's on the mediums. Hard tyres now for Jack. Mediums for Harry, hards for Jill, and Aslam, and Chris. Okay, a nice mixture here. Even guys a bit further back like Hurricane starting on the mediums, so he could make some good... There is quite a big difference in tyre grip around here on the mediums and the hards because of the nature of the fast corners around the Nordschleife. So let's get going. We've got 5 laps, around about 40 odd minutes of racing still to go here. The one thing the McLaren's not great on is the rolling start. But again, it's not bad enough to actually lose a position here. Oh, it looks like Jack's potentially going for it on Headers. Headers trying to go around the outside of Brummy. I think everyone slots in back to where they were. They do indeed. Chris getting past Aslam at the start though, so that's a good start there for Chris. Up a position already. Sam following him through. You hear the tyres screeching as everyone's making it around this first sector of the track. No big dramas for anyone. Everyone's still there. And a good start here for Mario. Oh, there's going to be some overtaking here. Sam's got past Chris. Sam on the mediums, Chris on the hard, so not the biggest surprise there. Now, what's he going to do? He's got Gilles on the hards ahead of him now. Sam is the one that is on the move. Now, Gilles going defensive into the fast chicane here. A lot of people take this with some interesting lines. And they both make it through pretty solidly here. You can see Jack's defending from Harry just ahead as well. Oh, Sam's nearly lost it! And he recovers. Chris still there as well. We're into the Nordschleife now for the first time in this feature race. Aruk is trying to recover someone. Aslam's gone all the way back. What's happened to him? Got a little... Oh. That wasn't the... Well, actually, let's go see it again. A little bit further back. So he's been side by side with Tap for a while. He gets the position there. He gets a bit of a bump. And then he's a little bit on the gravel as a result. And then he loses 2 positions. A little bit push to passy, in my opinion. Now Hurricane's going to try and get Tap as well. Hurricane's gonna potentially get this position, unless he outbrakes himself. Hello, Eli. And we're into, yeah, okay, so let's go back into where we were. Into the Nordschleife for the first time. Hurricane's great start there. Oh, remember, he was on the mediums, in the top 10 now. Arukis on the hards, not making any progress. Chrissy on the hards, did start pretty well, but he's down in 8th still. Great start for Sam on the mediums. Stuck behind a hard-tired Jill. Then we have mediums for Harry, hards for Jack, still in P4, doing pretty well there. Mediums for Brummy, trying to stick with the top two both on mediums as well. So let's see what Headers can do. He's got some good slipstream and a lot of time on the full throttle here with Marriott, X90G. Now, is he going to be... Oh, he lifts a lot there. A lot more than he needed to, so he's not going to be carrying much speed around there. There is dirt, yeah, to contend with as well. And that is going to be pretty straightforward. Now let's get our good view for this next corner. Our favourite corner, where we've seen about 4 or 5 cars go off already. Top 2 make it. Ooh, Jack a little bit deep. And he loses that spot to Harry. Is he going to lose any more? Oh, Sam nearly losing it, trying to position his car. He does get past Jack. Jack struggling on these hards, obviously taking too much speed on the hard tyres around that corner and losing it. And he's going to lose those 3 positions there on this run down the hill. Stays ahead of Chris, crucially for him. They're on the same strategy. Now they're crawling round. This is the worst corner on the track, I think. Just horrible, horrible corner. And Jack a little bit wide again. Is this going to be Chris's opportunity now? Everyone's still pretty close together, so no major dramas at the start of this race. Jack's trying to get him. Oh dear. Oh dear. Messy. Let's have a look. And our sprint race winner is in the barriers there. Loses a huge number of positions. Rejoins just ahead of Tap and Zab. And Jack's down to 14th as well. Arukis under pressure now from Zab. These are hard tyres. Struggling around a section that should be flat out there as he's trying to regain his composure. And he's got a lot of positions to try and catch up now as well. Nearly got collected there from Genesis behind. Everyone is really, really close in this section. There's Hurricane on his mediums. Then there's a bit of a gap to Aslam up in P8. He's got some clear air. We've got Chris just behind Gil now, and Sam's starting to get away from them. We've got a big gap. Oh, we got him. Okay, let's go back. What's happening here between the top 2? It looks like Hennes is going to pull alongside here at some point, and they're going to have a battle for quite a few corners. Look at that. So a bit deep for X90G. Hennes is alongside. Enough to be entitled to the room, but this is not part of the circuit where you can really get away with going side by side. They're still side by side here. Going up the hill once again, and this is advantage X90G here. He should get the move closed off, but Headers gets a great exit. X90G couldn't really block him because he kept his car sufficiently alongside throughout that entire corner. Now Headers has the advantage going into another right-hander. And he's pinching X90G in, so he can't get a run. And here comes Brummy, who's going to try and potentially bump X90G back into P1 here. And then he has to get back behind them. They're still side by side. And we are going into the really tight left-hander at the top of this hill. You definitely can't go side by side here. And the fact that all 3 of them are so close together is kind of a recipe for disaster. Hennes backs out a bit, which means Brummy is actually going for the move. This is not going to end well. Oh, they actually make it through. Now Harry's going to get past his teammate because Headers had to back out so much there. So he went from challenging to the lead, and now he's in 4th place. Really rough there. Now what could Harry do? Harry has shown a little bit more pace than Brummy at this track. Into the carousel. Is everyone going to nail it? Yeah. Now, we're in the part of the track where overtake is pretty much impossible here. These top 4 are definitely getting away from everybody else. Very tricky section that we're in at the moment. And it's very hard, well, it's very easy to gain a lot of time there. Like, Henna's just gained loads on Harry. Now, these two don't want to be fighting too hard. They are teammates. I think Harry backed out of that one, let Henna's get ahead. Very similar pace, the two of them, actually. I think they just need it to click a little bit and they'll get some really solid points. And this might be the race that they do it in. Especially if they can get past Brummy and X90G. The AMG seems to be pretty solid on these medium tyres. Horrible second gear corner, this one. Another horrible corner on the track. Easy to get it wrong, but these guys got it right. Now, we're going over the bump. Are we all going to make it? Harry's actually lost a lot of time there. Brummy driving pretty well under pressure from Henna's here. It's probably good that Henna's got past Harry because there is a bit of a gap. Someone's going pretty... Oh, I think someone's just left. Oh, what happened? So he's already in last place. Is it a rage quit? There we go. First rage quit of the season for Jack. Oh no, what's happening? Hold on. There we go, let's start again. So yeah, let's stick with Henna's, because if he could stick with Brummy onto the back straight, he should have this position pretty much sewn up. So bear with me, I'm getting the notifications on my phone. Okay, into the final corner. Are they all going to make it? There we go. It's like Brummy took a better line through there than X90G, and one person certainly didn't make it. That is Harry. All on his own as well. Now you're going to see something that's very common on this track. Oh, actually, that's not common. I thought he was going to put it on the grass, but I don't know what that was. Bit of risking an unsafe rejoin here. We do have ghosting switched off. He was lucky not to collect anyone, because that would have been quite a heavy penalty. He's got engine damage, so he's definitely dropping all the way to the back. Henna's, meanwhile, is ump drafting Brummy. They both got ahead of X90G, so I think we need to see what happened here. So Henna's opting... Well, actually, he was going for the move himself. Brummy had good speed, and Henna's just decides, you know what, let's do a bit of up drafting for now and leave X90G high and dry. Look at that, look at the huge gap opening up already. Now what's Henna's going to do? Is he actually going to try and get a move done himself? What's the gap? There's about 10 kilometers an hour difference between them. They are side by side. Who's going to be bravest? Oh, yeah, that's not great. And he spins it back onto track. He's faced the wrong way. Don't. Yeah. Chris nearly crashes into him. There we go. Good old GT physics helping him get back on track there. But he's outside the top 10. And Henna's now challenging for the lead of the race from X90G. Let's see what happened from X90G's point of view here. So he does get the lead, because he manages to slice through the carnage. Henna's is going to try into turn 1 to get this position back. Diving down the inside. It looks like he's going to get it, actually. If I'm X90G, I'm thinking that's probably a 10-second penalty Henna's was about to get, to be fair. So, if it gets reported, that is. And he's going for it anyway. He wants that position back. Henna's has the inside line for this corner. He has to be careful not to get a penalty like we saw Chris do in the sprint. And he doesn't get one, but he does lose the position again. It got reported, okay. And it was on lap 1. Lap 1 double bubble for the penalty. So Sam's doing incredibly well here. He's caught up to these guys. Obviously there's been a bit of carnage at play. Potentially on course for a win here, Sam. Because in my opinion he's got more pace than these front two. These front two obviously starting very well because of their starting positions. Sam's starting at least 5 positions lower than he is right now. In 5th place though. Giles is in 4th. In 3rd place, sorry. Giles is in 4th, just ahead of Aslan and ahead of Chris. So these are the 3 guys on hard tyres. So they're on a completely different strategy, and if their strategy ends up being the quicker one by the end of this race, then technically Giles is net race leader. If the top 3 all pit twice, or if they go on hards and just get caught really quickly. Talk about catching really quickly. Sam is all over the back of Hennes now as we go up the hill. Now, this corner is the worst for dirty air that they're just getting to now. Let's see how much Sam lifts. He actually applies the brakes as well. The Lambo can do 3 laps on the mediums. Depends who you are. Look at this run that Sam has on Hennes. Unfortunately, we're going into our favourite corner here. And yeah, you can't really get an overtake done into that corner. It's looking fairly normal for these guys taking the corner this time round. I think maybe everyone's finally settling down a bit. Harry down in 14th after that incident with the engine damage, still ahead of Higgsy. Higgsy's having the worst round I've ever seen him have. And that includes when he first joined and he was in the lower tiers. Here we go, Sam's got another run on Hennes out of the corner. This acceleration on this Citroen's just something else. I think Hennes has just given up on it. He doesn't want to be put under pressure. Now braking for this 2nd gear corner. You can get on the throttle nice and early, but if you get on it too early, you're into the barriers. This should be full throttle on any tyre. Hennes did lift a little bit. Let's do a little tyre check whilst everything is fairly calm. So we're decent tyres on the Peugeot, slightly worse tyres on the Peugeot compared to the Citroen, 2 MR cars at the front. Then we've got the AMG. AMG's wear is probably the worst on the front left, which is the one that's going to go off first for all of them. Here comes Sam on X90G. He's not wasting any time. He's going to have to go around the outside here. This is going to open the door again for Hennes, because they're both compromised out of that corner. Now we're up the hill again. Sam's going to... He could get the move done before the death corner at the top of this hill. No, he can't. He actually can't. Oh! Onto the curbs. And that killed X90G's momentum. Sam into P1. We have a new race leader. We might have another new race leader because Hennes just swoops past X90G there and gets back up into P2. That was some great opportunism. Let's see how that even happened. That was a bit confusing. So yeah, X90G just stuck behind Sam. And Hennes getting a good run up the hill. And now he's up into 2. And X90G is the one who's lost 2 positions. Once again, he's lost 2 spots in the space of one section of the track. So what can Sam do? He's got the clear air. He's got cars behind him who should be slightly slower than him on pace this week. This is his opportunity to create an unassailable lead, because he might have to battle with these guys. Aslam's got past Giles somewhere. Up the hill as well. In interesting. So if you're saying the Lambo could do 3 on the mediums, then I'm expecting Gilles in this lap. And could potentially get a great undercut on Aslam if Aslam stays out an extra one. Because the Toyota doesn't have a great grip on tyre life. So yeah, Aslam up into P4, the highest driver on the hard tyres. Chris still with them, dropped about a second and a half off them. Arukas on his recovery drive after getting killed by Jack into 7th. Hurricane's in 8th on his mediums. Can't imagine him staying out a 3rd lap in the Lexus. Then we have Tap in the top 10 on the hards and Zab rounding out the top 10 as well. Brummy, who's been in the wars, Harry's been in the wars as well. Higgsy is really cut off from everyone else at the moment, going around the carousel. So it's about to get really interesting at the end of this one, the end of this lap. Sam on course for the race win would give him the championship lead, but remember, he is missing rounds this season, so he's not really in the championship fight. It's all about what's going on behind him. Henna's definitely on course for his best results if he can translate this P2 into a podium by the end of the race. Really consistent driving from Xnati G. Been at the front for most of the race, in the lead even. Lost the lead, regained it, lost it again. Starting to get caught pretty quickly by P4 down. There was quite a big distance between them. And maybe we're in the section of the strategy where the hard tyres are feeling a bit more comfortable. Aslam looking like he's got plenty of pace in the GR Supra. Interesting one. So there's this driver in Tier 1 H Racing Green. He must know Aslam from somewhere else because he was very surprised to not see him in Tier 1. So one to keep an eye out. Maybe he's going to be a Tier 1 driver in the future, but so far he looks pretty competitive in Tier 2, not too quick for it. Someone who's struggling at the moment is Gio though. I don't know what's happened with him as we go onto the back straight. Chris all over the back of him, Arukas in here as well. Might see some overtakes onto the back straight now. Top 4 evenly spaced, so this is where the drama is going to happen. Is Chris going to be able to get a move done on the Lambo? The Lambo's not great at the very top end of its engine. Gilles trying to get the slipstream to have another go at Chris, but he's going to lose out to Arukas here potentially as well. Oh no, Arukas backs out. He doesn't want to go for the move. Yeah, and gets out of the way as well. Looks like Tap might have got past Hurricane here. No, Hurricane was trying to get past Tap, and it looks like it's gonna... Oh no, it's just some bump drafting. Ignore me. So, who's going into the pits? The hard-tired Aslam. So, is he gonna do a 2-stop, or is he going on the mediums to the end? Arukas doing a similar strategy to him. Everyone else carrying on. So, Sam's doing 3 laps on the mediums. Henna's doing 3 laps on the mediums, but look how worn they are. I don't know. I think that might have been a mistake. I really do. I don't think those tyres are going to make the end of the lap. And he's in such a good position. He's like a second away from the race lead. This is going to be a rough lap for Henna's, for sure. Marriott carrying on as well on the mediums. Chris is the highest placed hard-tired car now. And we got Gilles in 5th. So Chris has got past Gilles as well. Zab 6th. Genesis is up into 7th. Pretty decent start to this race for Genesis. Filthy. And then Aslam's out in 9th place. He is fueled up to the end. He's got the medium tyres on as well. So he's going to do 3 laps on the mediums, surely. We got Higgsy in 10th, ahead of Arukas, who's come into the pit. So Arukas really needs to try and get past Higgsy here. I think Higgsy's just given up. He's not going to try and fight it. Maybe he knows he hasn't got the pace. Let's see. He's just going to completely lift here, isn't he? Henderson was meant to pit but forgot. Oh dear. I mean, it's easy to do with the pit lane because you have to really stay to the right at the end of the final corner. Remember to do that, or else you're fucked basically. Just like Higgsy, losing that position to Arukis, just completely surrendering it. Then we got Tap, who's made his pit stop on the mediums, 3 laps on the mediums at the end. Brummy, Hurricane's on mediums again, so he's doing the 2 stop, but he's in 14th right now, and he's got a car. He's got the hard tires ahead of him as well, and then Harry at the back on hards to the end as well. So Hennes is losing a bit of ground there, and yeah, comparing him, he's got, I'm gonna say, 15% tire life left compared to probably 30% for X90G. So let's stick with this Peugeot. Big lifts on the uphill section. If you're brave, you don't need to brake. Potentially do when your tyres are this messed up. Oh, Henna's going a little bit deep there. Actually, made the corner just fine in the end. Just giving me a little fright. Yeah, Chris still not really catching up to these guys. I wonder if he's going to be able to by the end of the lap. The hard tyres on this lap should be a lot quicker than the medium tyres on this lap. Neat and tidy there. Henna's not under any sort of pressure at the moment. Genesis looking to put a bit of pressure on Zab here. So we've got the McLaren versus the Nissan GTR. And Genesis are looking a little bit more comfortable through this horrible section of the track. Zab's got off track. This should be the overtake for Genesis up to P6. So it's going pretty well for Genesis. Aslam stuck behind Filthy now, so he's going to have to try and get this overtake done fairly quickly, or else his race might come apart. Let's stick with this one for a bit. He should be able to close the gap in these corners, but he has caught Filthy at the worst point. Not many overtaking sections of the track for a little while until we get into that beastly uphill section where it's all full throttle. A lot of lifting for that full throttle section. Great slingshot out, but you can't get an overtake done here either. And yeah, that little position where Aslam was just a little bit awkwardly placed made Filthy go a lot slower through that corner. It's just cost them both a fair chunk of time. That looks like a good run out of the corner for Aslam. He's going to get alongside. It's still might not be enough. Oh, Filthy's just backed out. I think he's just accepted slightly different strategies for these guys. Doesn't want to lose too much time with this guy stalking him, essentially, at this stage. Chris has been caught by Giles a little bit, so potentially a bit of a mistake for Chris. And yeah, Natty's caught up to Henna's now. Henna's, ooh, he's got a couple more corners left on those tyres. He might make it, you never know. Most of the rest of the lap is a straight. Yeah, pretty even. Obviously, Natty's tyres are going off pretty quickly as well, so he might be pretty close to a fully red tyre by the end of the lap as well. How's Sam's looking? Sam's looking a bit better, and he's completely dropped everyone else. I can't really see any cars in the distance here. Oh, both of them go off. That's horrible. And now Natty's going to have dirty tyres for the next few corners. He's going to be able to still make these. He does. Something's happened. Okay, never mind. So, I thought Genesis was in 6th place, but he's been in 7th for quite a while. Aslam up in 8th with plenty of clear air in front of him. Arukis has Filthy right in front of him, and he's got a half-second penalty, so this isn't great for him. Filthy's letting him through though. Get him. He'll get him again on the straight. Anything going on? I feel like I heard some damage for someone. Hennes doesn't have X9G behind him, and he's only got 2 more corners before the back straight. I think he's actually going to survive this one. But yeah, he's lost a lot of time to Sam. Yeah, you can't even see him coming through. So let's see how these guys take the final corner before the straight. Arguably the most important corner on the track, because if you get it wrong, it penalises you for about the next 30 seconds. Some good... Yeah, here we go. This is going to be easy. I don't know what's going on with Hennes, but he has absolutely nothing to fight that with X90G. Potentially wants to just get in the slipstream. He's actually maybe saving a bit of fuel. He doesn't want to be fighting into the next corner because he's got no tyres. I think that's what's going on. But yeah, missing the pit lane might actually benefit Hennes here. He's going to only have to do 2 on the hards. So Sam's going to be coming in. Hards to the end, I'm assuming. I don't think softs to the end is a great idea. In comes Natty, in comes Hennes. Gilles not too far behind in the end. We have a bit of a gap now to Zab in 6th place. Something's happened to Genesis, he's dropped to 8th from 7th. Into the pits. So this means Aslam is going to be coming through, and it's going to depend. He's got 2 more laps to do on these medium tyres. Is he going to be able to leapfrog everyone? It's saying he's in P1. And it looks like he's in P1. So it's worked out absolutely beautifully for Aslam. He's got the fresh medium tyres to the end. Sam in P2 has to do it on the hards. Mediums for Arukis, who's excuse me, rejoined right behind Sam and should have the tyre advantage as well, even though his tyres are a lap older. Chris out in P4 ahead of X90G. So yeah, he's put in a bit less fuel, and Hennes as well, struggling a bit with the fuel as well. So I think some of these guys really short fueling, short shifting all race long to get the advantage in the pit lane, and that has dropped Natty and Hennes down quite a few positions there. Gilles in 7th, Hurricane is in 8th, Taps in 9th, Brummy was in 10th, it won't be anymore. Then you have Genesis, well, Zab, Harry, Genesis. Now we have Brummy getting overtaken by Filthy here, and then Higgsy is still cut off at the back. What's going on, Higgsy, man? This is not your pace. This is like, I need demoting mid-season pace, and he's not because he's not that kind of driver. He's a race 2, he's the tier 2 race winner. So Aslam, it is looking very solid for him in this Toyota GR Supra. He's got the medium tyres. Maybe the final lap is going to be a bit of a dodgy one for him. He managed to do most of that out lap without traffic, just a little bit of traffic, but people actually got out of the way for him, which personally I don't like to see. I want every position to be fought for. Don't make it easy for the guys, especially the quickest ones. Look at that, half a second purple, even though we can't see the fastest lap there. Oh, Sam and Arukis going side by side. Sam's on the hards, losing that position to Arukis. Arukis up into 2nd now. Arukas could be winning this, to be honest. If he didn't get put in the wall by Jack, he wouldn't have lost all that time behind all those drivers. So yeah, I think the hard-medium strategy is paying off dividends for the guys who've made it work and have avoided losing too much time, which are Aslam and Arukas. Now we got Chris in 4th. On the mediums, maybe he can catch Sam as well. Sam's the only guy in the top who's on the hard tyres, and it's yeah, he's going to spend this lap at least with a huge disadvantage in tyre wear. Whoa, Chris sliding through these corners will be cranking up the temperature of his tyres. X90G on the hards. So this is a good day. Where's his teammate? Who's his teammate as well? I can't remember. His teammate's Aruka, so we've got 2 Peugeots in the top 5. So is this another car that people should maybe be testing out a bit more in the off-season? Then we have Gilles wants to get a move done on Hennes. Hennes on the hards, Gilles on the mediums. I guess the sprint's not going to plan for Gilles. He's not really been in any incidents as far as I can see, but he's still found himself down in 7th. Maybe that's a strategy thing. 3 laps on the hards. And now stuck behind Hennes. And not really threatening to get an overtake done in the near term. Tap is going to try and get a move done on Hurricane. Hurricane's going to have to make another pit stop as well. So he's not, 8th place is not representative for Hurricane's position here. He should be blisteringly quick in the final lap though when he does make that pit stop. So we're on the uphill section. Let's see how everyone takes Death Corner. Oh. Because this could change the outcome of the race. Here we go. Absolutely fine for Aslam. Yeah, these guys know what they're doing. At the top, it's usually about P5 downwards who start to go off track there. Very careful there for Natty. Hennes and Gilles pretty close. There's a big gap to Hurricane. Obviously he doesn't fancy doing any laps on the hard tyres today, so he's just stuck to medium soft strategy. Huge gap. And into the hairpin. And then we have Zab down in 13th, Higgsy in 14th, Rummy is in 15th now. So he must have had another mistake somewhere. Chrissy's starting to catch up to Sam pretty nicely. Not quickly enough for his liking though. He needs to get ahead of Sam. His tyres look pretty decent halfway, well actually 3/4 of the way into the lap, I think it's fair to say. What about Gilles? Gilles needs to start putting a bit more pressure on Hennes now. Maybe he feels confident to get him on the back straight. Here we go, he's got the overspeed here, and he backs out of it way before the corner. I think he was just trying to distract Hennes, but it's ended up costing him a little bit, and when you've only got a couple of corners before the back straight, you want to be sticking as close as possible to the car in front. Something that I know to be true, wasn't able to do it myself that was a skill issue. Natty might be under pressure here from Hennes, actually. Great exit there from Jill. He actually has to back out a little bit, but he's well and truly in the slipstream here on the back straight. Looked like a better exit from Hennes out of that corner. Now, what's Jill going to do? Because he could just bump draft Hennes past X90G if he wants to. And he is actually going to do that. Okay, this is going to be interesting. And this is going to be the second time this race X90G's been ambushed like this. There's nothing he can do. You've got the track position and you just get absolutely murdered by, well, not murdered, just the cars just breeze past them. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I don't think these guys are going to cause an incident like previously. Fastest lap in 8-minute 2.1 by Aslam as he starts his final lap of the race. And Hennes up into 5th ahead of Jill. Natty might try and get a move back on Jill here. Jill looking a bit slow down into turn 1. And Hurricane's in to make his final stop. He'll be dropping way down, but he might be able to recover by the end of the race. So we'll see where he comes out. Come on. Oh, Jill's missed the corner. That was bad. Yeah, I think he's just let Natty back past again. This is great news for Hennes, who's got a bit of breathing space. What's happening a bit further forward? Chris is ahead of Sam. Let's see where that happened. It is on the back straight. It's going to be just a straightforward overtake, I reckon. Yeah. Okay. Now, yeah, we're back to where we were. The gap between Aruki, well, actually, you can still see Aslam in his screen. Aslam's tyres are looking pretty bad. We're in a similar situation to what Hennes was in at the end on lap 3. And even though I thought that his tyres weren't going to last the whole lap, they actually did. So potentially could be the same for Aslam. Arukas could catch Aslam here because his tyres are a fair bit better. So they should come to him as the lap continues. Meanwhile, Chris, it's not even out of the question that Chris wins this because his tyres are super fresh. He's finally got past Sam. And yeah, it's looking pretty good for a double podium now for Chris. P1, 2 and 3 are P2, 3 and 4 from the sprint to the feature. Henna's still hanging in there, and he's got a bit of a gap to Natty, who's still holding back Gios. Now we're going up the hill again. Won't be many overtakes here, so let's see. Death corner number 1. Is Aslam going to be able to take it just fine? He is indeed. What about Arukas? There is a gap about maybe 5-6 seconds here. Dealing with it fine. Chris edging away from Sam now as the corners go. Henna's nearly lost it there, went a little bit wide. Natty and Gilles take it just fine. We've got this big gap, taps up into 8th now. God, this is a big gap between P7 and P8. Tap takes the corner just fine. So Hurricane's out in 13th after his final stop. Fresh Softs should really be the quickest person on the track for the rest of the race, but if he does catch Harry, he has to overtake him in an awkward position, no doubt. Higgsy's got a bit of damage, so he's been in the wars, and then Brummy slowly catching up to him. So where is the juicy battle happening? Looks like Natty, Hennes and Jill is where it's at the moment. Battle for P5. Every position is really important for these guys. in the Drivers' and the Constructors' Championship. I think they can all compete in at least one of those. Gio's a former Tier 1 race winner, of course. This is his second season back in Tier 2. Chose the Alpha last season, which was ended up being a bad pick, let's be honest. In a much better car this season, the Lamborghini. But yeah, down in 7th at the moment. Behind a couple of drivers who were in Tier 3 last season as well. Up the hill he goes. Henna's a bit wide around that corner. Actually, a decent exit though. Xnati and Jill not able to close the gap. So, here we go. Death corner from a different angle, from the driver's point of view. Very nice. Again, very nice. And for Sam. Maybe Sam could start to close the gap on the hards in this second part of the race now. Henna's still looking fairly composed. Gilles all over the back of Xnati now on the uphill section. He needs to chuck it into this braking point here, but Natty goes defensive. Maybe the cutback is on. Not really. Like I said, very difficult to get overtakes done here. Now the carousel. An easy way to lose multiple seconds behind someone else if they don't take it right. Oh, a little slide there for Natty's going to open the door for Jill. Yeah, nothing he can do, he has to lift. Breathing space for Henna's now. Yeah, the Lambo's been good for... Oh, a bit wide there for Natty. And that is going to be P6 for Gilles. One little mistake can cost you those kind of positions, and Gilles is going to say thank you very much for that. He needs these points if he's going to be building a championship fight this season. The Lamborghini's not the strongest at the Nordschleife, but it's going to be better probably at Brands Hatch and the slower tracks this season as opposed to the high speed ones. So it is important to get these top results, top 6, top 5, top 4 at the tracks where your car's not expected to be the outright quickest. Now let's see, we are about to go onto the back straight for the final time. Look at the tyres on Aslam's car, almost gone. If he was battling with anyone in this stint, he potentially wouldn't be getting to the end of the race without a puncture. He is pretty slow on this lap. Arukas is catching him, but Arukas' tyres are nearly gone. Arukas under a bit of pressure here from Chris now. Chris might want this P2. Another one who needs good points for the championship. And Chris has great overspeed here. Manages to pull out at the right time. Is going to get that position right at the end of the race, unless Arukas tries something at the very end here. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. So round the final corner for the final time. On his debut evening in ALR, Aslam is going to take the feature race win here at the Nordschleife Endurance. Chris with the last lap overtake is going to get P2. Arukas must have had a bit of a mistake there. He's got damage. I'll spare his blushes. He gets a podium in the end anyway. Didn't make a difference for him. Sam P4. Gilles up into 5th. What happened? Oh, Henna's is out of fuel, and there is, yeah, that's pretty brutal for Henna. So Gilles is going to take P5 there. Now he's going to have to brake, and he's not going to be able to really get back on the throttle here now. So Natty is going to take 6th. coming out of the final corner here. Look at that. Hennes did have a huge gap back to Tap. So is he still going to get 7th regardless? Oh, look how slow he's going. Where's Tap? Tap's coming through the final corner now. There's the finish line. It is going to be P7 in the end for Hennes. Wow, that was the advantage that he had. It's not too bad at the end. Tap, 8th place. Filthy's out of fuel as well. Is he going to get overtaken by Genesis? He is right on the line. Zab in 11th. Hurricane on his soft tyres could only recover to 12th. Bit of a miserable one for Harry in 13th. Higgsy gets 2 points for his troubles today. And Grubby gets his 3rd after getting a couple in the sprint. With Jack DNFing. So, what does that do to the standings? Let's have a look. So, Tier 2 White Pre-Stewards. Sam is in the lead, but like I said, he is missing rounds. He's missing the next one, actually. Chrissy is in P2, and those two have a big gap over Giles in 3rd place. 13 points between Chrissy and Giles. And then Arukas is 1 point further back. Xnat is 2 points further back from Arukas as the top 5. And then Hasnain, Aslam, is in 6th place, despite only doing 1 round. So if he did that twice, he would have a 2-point lead over Sam in the standings if he got those results twice. Definitely similar pace to Sam and Chrissy by the looks of it. So yeah, join me next week for Brand's Hat Track.